Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am really glad you're here because today I've got kind of a weird one for you. You know, when we bought this property, the house had been unoccupied for quite a while. And during that time, several groundhogs, by several I mean 7, found their way into various areas around the house. Not only around the house, but under the house. So one place was this front porch. And not only did they get under the front porch, once they got under the front porch, they burrowed all the way down into the basement of the house. So there's actually a hole in the basement wall, and I could feel cold air coming through the hole. So I wanted to know what I was dealing with. So I took a couple of deck boards off here to see if there was in fact a hole going from under the deck into the basement. And there is. So my idea is to take concrete, and I'm going to use the mud mixer for this because I think it'll be perfect. I'm going to take concrete, going to mix it up really wet and just pour it down the hole, and hopefully it'll come out the other end into the basement and just create a solid chamber to block it up. Not only that, but it should shore up the foundation if that's been affected in any way. So let me show you what we're dealing with. So here are the 2 deck boards I took off, and sure enough, when I look down in here, there's a hole right along the side of the house. And down at the bottom of the basement, there is not another hole, I guess the other end of this hole. So here's the inside corner of the basement. Isn't that just lovely? And down here, all the way at the bottom, there's this hole. It's a pretty big hole, probably big enough for a groundhog to get through. And I can feel cold air coming right down there. So I also set up this ring camera just to capture any motion, and I have captured motion. I've captured some critters on camera. A little friendly mouse. Our neighborhood snake has been down here, hopefully taking care of the mouse. I even set a mouse trap, but it is completely clean. I think I figured out how that happens. I was always confused as to why you'd smear peanut butter on a mouse trap and that it would be cleaned off. Well, there's also a lot of bugs down here, crickets and whatnot. And I think they eat the peanut butter, and which does not set the trap off. So that's my theory as to why traps get licked clean but not trapped or tripped. So anyway, my idea is to pour that concrete from up top. It will work its way down here. I've got a few bricks here, so we'll just kind of block it off to hold back the concrete. And that's the plan anyway. The mud mixer has a nice optional chute extension that I have on there, but I'm also going to add this piece of 4-inch drain pipe so I can really hopefully direct the concrete right into the hole. Just need to cut it to length though. I'm going to start with a bag of plain mortar mix, which has no crushed stone in it, because that way it'll be looser and should be able to find its way down the hole. And then once that bag goes in, if there's more space in the hole, I've got some regular concrete mix to put in there. So we'll start with that and see how it goes. So the mud mixer just needs connection to a hose, connection to power. You've got the bag breaker here. Just drop the dry bag onto the bag breaker and pour the dry mix right in to the hopper. There's our first 60 pounds. I'm going to start by just wetting down the auger area. Get some water down there. And that should do it. We've got our dry mix here. Just going to start the machine on 75, which is, I know, a very wet mix. And we can adjust it as we go. When you turn the machine on, the sprayer start spraying water in, and the mix starts coming right out. So here we go. A lot of water at first, and here comes the mix. Very wet, so let's reduce that water. I'm sure that's all running into the basement now. All right, now I cut it back to 50%. Not really percentage, I guess, but there we go. Nice gooey mix there. Going down in the hole. It takes a while, you know, when you adjust it, it takes a good 10 seconds for the mix to appear at the other end. So I'm going to cut this back below 50. We're down at about 40. Still very wet. Might be too wet, but that's all right. Continue to cut back. That may have all just leaked out underneath in the basement. But that's all right, as long as it's finding its way. That's a nice mix there. All right, let's just shut it off and see what it looks like in the basement. All right, let's see what we have here. What kind of mess we've made, Ollie. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I ran all the way down there. It's definitely an open cavity. So, all right, we can, I think, start using the heavier mix. Now I've got 80 pounds of concrete mix with the stones. Nice. And we will just start dumping. That looks great. That looks great. Okay. Let's go down. See what's happening on the other end. I didn't bring any concrete tools. Ow, low ceiling. All right, nothing's coming out. Well, that's okay. Gonna mix it a little lighter then, or a little looser. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Oops. Maybe that was a little too thick and didn't find its way down. Okay. Well then, let's fix that. That's really heavy. God. There we go. That is it. Well, I don't know if it filled the entire cavity, but it definitely filled enough that nothing is going to be coming through there. We'll stop all the air, stop all the critters. Will it stop water? I don't know, because the water might be coming in from another cavity somewhere else. Nice, very nice. Didn't exactly work the way I had fully hoped. I was hoping to see a lot more down at this end, but it's capped off at the top for sure, and I don't feel any air coming through, so that's a good sign. And what we could do, okay, yeah, there's still quite a cavity back there, so I may have to actually come at it from this side, maybe even break some of this out. There we go. Well, that's not hard to do, is it? There we go. And maybe just pour some in from here to shore up this corner. Now in hindsight, good old hindsight, I'm thinking what I should have done, once I knew that water or concrete was able to find its way into that hole, once I knew that, I probably should have stuffed it from this end with something, I don't know, insulation, newspaper, something to hold it back. Then I should have continued to pour it very loose so that it could fill up that cavity instead of going to a thicker mix. Because I think the thicker mix just got bound more at the top. Although I put well over 150 pounds of concrete in there, so it was quite a bit. So I'm sure it made its way down pretty far, but it didn't make it all the way down to the hole. At least the solid mix didn't. So again, I'm gonna have to maybe fill it from here, but that's all right. It's gonna at least take care of that issue up top. Well, successful project, I would say yes overall. I was able to cap off the top of the hole, and again, I put 150 pounds of concrete in there, so it went somewhere. There's still a hole at the basement end that I'm gonna have to fill in from the back side, but at least I was able to fill the cavity from the top. That's gonna stop the air from coming in, gonna stop the critters from coming in, and the water still may find its way from some other cavities, but we'll figure that out some other time. But largely, this was the most important thing to get done. The mud mixer made this really so much easier to do. What I especially liked is that I was able to dial in the consistency as needed. If I didn't have this, I would have mixed it in buckets and poured the buckets in the hole and really would not have had too much control over consistency. So that was the one thing that was really nice. The other thing was the fact that I could really direct the concrete where I wanted it to go. And of course, my drain pipe idea worked really well while the mix was loose, but as it thickened up, it just filled up that pipe. So good in theory, but didn't work out overall. But anyway, live and learn, and it's all a learning experience. So I appreciate you watching today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to join us. If you want to learn more about the mud mixer, please use the link in the description. I get nothing from that. It just lets them know that you found them through me, and that's a nice thing after all. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it, and I really do look forward to seeing you next time.